Shout out to RGT85. If you're not subscribed, go show us some fucking love. Let's watch this.
Sometimes I just think I'm a little out there. You know, I'm a little bit crazy. Like when people push back on me with certain things, I genuinely do not understand their mindset. I usually think they don't know any better. They know not what they do. You know, maybe they're young. They don't understand the video game industry. But if you disagree with me on this, like there's something wrong with you. And
Based RGT85. There's something wrong with you.
you know, I'm all for people expressing themselves. It seems like we live in a society where you can't really express yourselves, but, you know, express yourselves here. I'm expressing to my full capabilities. And now I'm living in correctional facility. Shout out to the rhyme animal Chuck D of Public Enemy. Chuck
Public Enemy shout outs. That's why I like RGT.
D of Public Enemy has complimented me before.
Oh, now he's just fucking flexing and bragging. What's up, Ryan79?
When I was on a Knicks podcast and he was watching. He gave me a very nice compliment. Did Chuck D compliment you? I don't think so, pal. I don't think so. And I feel like I'm living in an insane asylum when I'm hearing about the next generation Xbox console.
I know where he's going to go with this, and it's the whole point of how, like, they're kind of sending their games everywhere else, putting their games on other platforms and stuff. And he's probably going to have the opinion that they shouldn't be making hardware anymore, which is fair, which is honestly fair. But I do like I like the controller at least. Like, look, my Xbox controller, I like the Xbox controller at least. Now, JG says the next Xbox is going to be Windows with an Xbox mode. The next Xbox console is going to be an Asus handheld, various desktops with licensed Xbox. Well, there we have Xbox modes on PC. Like this computer, when I turn it on, an Xbox Game Pass window pops up every time.
In the year of our Lord, 2025, we're talking about the next generation Xbox console. And people are getting excited for this.
I mean,
have you all
I could see why, but I know where he's going to go.
lost your minds? Have you all lost the plot? I was pissed off when Sarah Bond was on stage talking about it last year. It's going to be the biggest technical leap ever. I guess it's International Women's Month, so I can't say too much negative things about Sarah Bond, but I have to question that statement as far as being the biggest technical leap ever, because I don't think technology is exactly what we're thinking about with this, and we'll get into that as we go along. But
that Women's History Month thing was pretty funny. I'm not trying to be chauvinistic, but yeah, let's go on.
it is the year 2025. I bought the Xbox Series X console on day one, along with the PlayStation 5.
Me too. I got both the PS5 and the Series X day one on each one. Day one on each one. And to be completely honest, as much crap as people give Xbox, PlayStation hadn't done much better this year, or this generation. Look at the lack of like first party exclusives or just games being made first party in general. They both have been slipping this generation. Both have been slipping. The only difference is the PlayStation 5 actually fucking sells.
And these consoles are now finally getting started. Yep. What do I mean by that? What do I mean? Oh, there's been games. There's been PS5 games. There's been Xbox games. Yeah, there have been. And you know,
third-party games and indie.
You know what? A vast majority of them were something called cross-generational, meaning that they also came on the prior platform, such as the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
A lot of the early PS5 and Xbox Series X games were cross. They were on both previous and next gen.
We are now finally starting to see the fruits of the labor of these systems. There are still third-party companies that are still making versions of Xbox One and PS4 games. People used to criticize me for saying that in 2025 you were still going to see new PS4 and Xbox games. And we were like, no, you're not. And then...
yeah, we still are. We still fucking are. I think the new WWE game has last gen as well. I think the only difference is that you don't get access to the island mode on last gen. That's a next gen only. JG says the they're just going to copy the Steam Deck and have a Windows mode and an Xbox mode. It's going to let you essentially play Windows games that are locked setting to run smoothly in Xbox mode.
Oh, sure enough, you were. Sure enough, you are, and you're still going to see him in 2026. Spoiler alert. But we are now finally moving on from the fact that these games were releasing on the old platform and the new platform with, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic here. Some minor upgrades. Yeah, you're getting better visual fidelity. You might get a little bit better frame rate. But at the end of the day, it's still the same core game experience.
Was Black Ops 6 on last gen, or is that a next gen only? I'm not sure on that. I'm looking at some of these games advertised.
Experience. It's nothing new. It's nothing.
What's up, Review Trump USSR says birds.
That's a massive leap that couldn't have been done on the previous platform. Now we're finally starting to see the fruits of that labor. With Xbox especially. Games like Indiana Jones and The Great Circle, a game that I spent roughly 40 plus hours in.
I still need to beat it, but I liked it. I thought it was really fun.
I beat it. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. Hey, good job, Xbox. You're putting it on PlayStation 5 a few months later.
I see the point. Like, man, I see both sides of the equation with Xbox putting their games on PlayStation and all that. But then at the same time, I think they should have kept Indiana Jones exclusive. But if you're not selling enough consoles to warrant exclusivity, just put it on everything. At this point, I think exclusivity is almost dumb. Almost dumb. At least have console exclusivity, but put it on PC at least. You know what I mean?
But whatever, good job on this game. Avowed. Not the greatest game in the world, but I had fun with it. I thoroughly enjoyed the combat. 31 hours into it, completed the game.
I didn't even want to go back and finish Avowed.
Good job, Xbox. Now we finally have games coming out for the Xbox Series X that are only for the Xbox Series platforms, no longer being hindered by the Xbox One, but
Thello says today's next gen to him is still previous gen. That's definitely fair, because even Avowed, which they're talking about right here, didn't even look next gen to me.
And wait, we gotta delay this game. Fable 2026.
Oh yeah, Fable's coming out. What do you guys think about the next Fable?
Gears of War E-Day. That's probably 2026 as well. Perfect Dark. We might have to make that 2026 as well. So we're kind of back to square one with this, but we're finally starting to see the fruits of the labor of these consoles, because let's be realistic. These consoles came out at a terrible, terrible time. These consoles were rushed to the marketplace. There was no reason.
I think they could have easily had like another year or two before the Series X and the PS5 came out. I think they could have at least waited another year or two
for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series to come out when they did. They came out in the middle of a pandemic. The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One still had life left in it, proven by the fact that many of the first games for the first couple of years were cross-generational games.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any negative in saying that. Like, yes, you did get a little bit of a boost in performance and in visuals, but it was not worth upgrading to a brand new system for.
I can completely agree wholeheartedly with that. Have I regretted getting my next-gen consoles? No. The only thing that I've regretted is getting the PlayStation VR 2. I regret that. Because I literally bought the PS5 VR headset, and I only used it for like a week or two, and I haven't touched it.
It really wasn't. Maybe for the hardcore, maybe for the day oneers or something like that, the diehard PlayStation fan, the diehard Xbox fan, for the casual fan. Not really worth the upgrade.
Yeah.
And now we're hearing rumors of 2026 new Xbox console, the next generation X.
It does seem pretty fast, but at the same time, it's been 6 years. The Switch 2 is coming out. There's no way the next Xbox is going to sell better than the Switch 2. Switch 2 will have inferior hardware, but it's going to sell like hotcakes.
Xbox, or maybe it's 2027 and it's going to have Call of Duty on it, and it's going to be a PC kind of hybrid with it's like a PC for your TV, and it'll be easier, and it might have Steam. I do not want to hear a damn word about this console.
Oh, you gotta love RGT. I'm so excited for it. You know what? Who knows? Let's give it a chance. Am I nice guy saying let's give it a chance? I think we should just give it a chance. Maybe Xbox will surprise us with some quality of life features that make it worth getting. Like, let's look beyond the games. Let's look at the quality of life. Let's look at certain features and aspects, right? Maybe they'll surprise us.
I don't. And I'm going to obviously talk about it once we start to get information because, hey, I got to secure the bag. But
yeah, secure the fucking bag.
But, like, how is this acceptable? How are people excited for this? This generation has been boring as hell.
Hey, you know what? That's fair. That's fair, but it's always exciting to see what's next. I feel underwhelmed by the Switch 2's hardware and specs, but I'm looking forward to the games.
And now we're hyping up hardware? Is that what matters? Have console gamers gotten to this point where it's no longer about games? It's no longer about pushing the hardware of the games? You really think we've tapped out the potential of the Xbox Series X already? You really?
If they try to make it like a budget gaming PC, it'll probably be fine, says Sad Clown. I can agree with that, and I could see that possibly happening. I kind of want them to try to do something out of the box. Pun intended. I want to see Xbox do something out of the box.
Really? You honestly think that? We are still getting Xbox One games. If this system comes out in 2026 or even 2027, there is a good chance that we'll be getting Xbox One games still from then. That console came out in 2013.
Do you guys think in 2026 and 2027 we're going to be getting Xbox One games still? I don't know about 2027.
What is this rush? People like to equate it to the older age of video game consoles, retro consoles. You're an idiot if you do that. Like I said, express yourself, but all because you express yourself doesn't mean that you are correct in your assessment. There is a reason that console life cycles were so short during the golden years of video games, like in the 90s and stuff like that. Look at the Sega Genesis to the Sega Saturn. Look at the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2.
There were some definite graphical and performance upgrades between those, yep.
Look at the Super Nintendo to the N64. Generational leaps.
What's up, Super
Things
Jeff,
that those
gamer?
systems could never dream of doing, we're doing on the new system.
Yep.
Sequels for games took a year to come out. Game development cycles were much smaller than we see now. You didn't wait years and years for a sequel. You waited a year.
He's spitting facts.
So, Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation 1 was considered a long time for the sequel to come out. It took 2 years. And that was factoring in that they had a version of the game that they were working on, and then they scrapped it and went back to the drawing board. Look at reviews from that time frame. Look at previews from that time frame from Resident Evil 2, and it usually mentions the long development cycle.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild with Resident Evil 2. What's up, Grateful for Bitcoin?
Now look at us. You get a glimpse of a game in 2022 that's not coming out until 2026.
Dude, like Metroid Prime 4, they showed that in 2017. It's still not out. We also saw Beyond Good and Evil 2, like, 3 years ago? Still not out. What else? We saw a teaser for Elder Scrolls 6, 3 years ago? Still not out. Games take forever now.
But I'm supposed to believe that we've tapped this out. We've tapped out the potential of this system. We've got to move on.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Out of your fucking minds. It's disgusting.
See you later, Bethello.
It's disgusting. And what is Xbox? I swear to Christ. You literally said that everything is an Xbox.
I mean, because you can access the cloud. So, I mean, it's kind of like marketing, right? This hat's an Xbox. We're all Xboxes.
But then you're going to make a new console, but you're putting your games on the PlayStation. The mixed messaging. Oh, it's just an option. It's just an option. Yes, a video game. Making brand new hardware is just an option. It's not expensive to do. It's not expensive to R&D this stuff. It's not expensive to manufacture this stuff. If this is a PC in a box underneath your television, don't you think it's going to cost a little bit more than your common console is because you're going to have
I am curious about the price points. St. Hugo says Duke Nukem Forever was ahead of its time. Now normal take forever. Deliver mid at best. Well, I mean, it definitely, when it first came out, it was pretty ahead of its time. Retro Nook says, as a PC guy, I'm not sure about all this, but I'm excited about some new D&D titles coming out.
licensing fees for things like Steam.
Yeah, I think Malphus, the thing with the Super Nintendo is that PS1 came out and Nintendo had to do something to compete.
Don't you think the price of the system is going to go up a little bit? That's what Xbox needs. That is the right move, Xbox. You need to make a slightly more powerful console, according to people who believe the biggest leap in technology is going to be from a graphics perspective. Spoiler alert, it's not. It's going to be something like that, cloud-based stuff, PC-based stuff. But this is the move. This is the idea. This is why console wars were important.
I miss the old school console war days, by the way. 1995 was a great fucking year. 94, 95.
This is why console wars were important. And anyone who said, Peter Moore just said it. He said how important the console wars were during the Xbox 360, PS3 generation. Because of competition. Competition creates better games. It creates a motivation for you to want to do better than somebody else. When everyone becomes stagnant and competition is gone and we're in this kumbaya stage where everyone's jerking each other off, it doesn't matter. Because you're going to bust a nut anyways because one of these other companies is going to jerk you off. That's a terrible analogy, but it's where I decided to go with it because that's how I see this. That's how I see this industry now. A bunch of jerk-offs all trying to help each other out. Kumbaya.
It kind of does feel like that with the whole, let's put all our games on everything.
Let's all work together. And who suffers? Not them. We do. But we just accept it. We accept it. This is great. Can't wait for the new Xbox console. So I can play Xbox One games on it because they're still going to make Xbox One versions of games. These consoles should be lasting 10 plus years now.
So Sadcon says, I don't think he's quite right here. Den Tim says he does not understand that the new AMD's APUs have been destroying graphics cards.
When I say these consoles, I'm talking about the PS5 and the Xbox Series.
So he's talking about current gen, the PS5 and Xbox Series X. He's asking why people are excited for the next Xbox when this new one hasn't done jack, which I could see. I could see the perspective, but at the same time, I'm excited for the new shit. I think we'll see a substantial upgrade on the next one.
Because you haven't really gotten the console generation started yet. This isn't a Nintendo Switch situation where it was clear as day that we needed something better. These companies, they don't even try to optimize their games anymore. I really don't think they do. I think they just throw the games out there and they're like, oh, we'll patch it later.
I do agree with that. I think they just throw shit out and then say we'll patch it later.
We'll see what goes wrong. We'll see what people complain about. And have the games gotten really that much better? Don't get me started on things like destructible elements and stuff like that. Things that were available.
We'll see with Assassin's Creed Shadows, right?
Available in PlayStation 2 games that you would think, oh, well, this is kind of going to be the future going forward. You'll have better graphics and, you'll have these destructible environments. But then somehow along the way, we got to a point of where, it's just going to be better graphics, but less interactivity.
New Xbox console and PS6 coming out by 2020. Yeah, I don't know how soon we'll be seeing this next console gen. So while he is giving his opinion and stuff on it, how soon would we be seeing the next Xbox? I would say at least 2 years from now. There's no way it's going to come out next year. I don't think there's any way. Maybe 2.
Because that makes sense. I swear to God, man. I know people think, he's just complaining. He's just that or the other. And to some degree I am. Yeah. But it comes from a good place. Because I really feel like a lot of companies are just half-assing stuff.
I will agree with that. I think not just in gaming, but also movies, TV.
With this, constant barrage, this constant focus on just trying to like make the prettiest looking games in the world with ray tracing and all this sort of crap, instead of just focusing like on the game itself. I'm actually playing through Resident Evil Revelations 1 right now, and I
Good game, I think.
honestly think that a game like Resident Evil Revelations 1, like, that should be what games look like in the modern era, as far as the graphics and like the characters and stuff are concerned. You clean up the environments, you have more destructibility, you have more new gameplay mechanics by adding into that and focusing on that, instead of just trying to make like a freaking, walking simulator game.
Charlie says we need more nerds in the industry. I could see that. Retro Nook says people are not as easily impressed as we used to be. We are spoiled. I think a major advancement in virtual reality would need to happen to get people hype again. See, unfortunately, a lot of people get sick from virtual reality. Like me, I get motion sick, so I try not to play it as much.
With pretty graphics. But what do I know? I don't even, bro, this was supposed to be strictly
What's up, PB?
about the new Xbox console. I don't want to hear about this fucking thing. There's no reason to be talking about this. We should be talking about Xbox games coming out in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, that ain't really happening.
That should be the focus. I don't want to hear about new hardware when many of us feel like this console generation is just getting started.
I feel it is just getting started.
I don't know, man. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Daylight savings. I don't even know what time it is.
All right, so interesting video. I'm still looking forward to it, but I can see his point. I feel we've only just begun to get the potential of next gen, not just for Xbox, but also with PlayStation. So